All right, Raider Nation, listen up, because what I'm about to say could change the future for some players in Las Vegas. When a new coach and staff come in, they don't just join the team, they start making big changes. And if you're in a position they think needs help, you better be ready. If not, you could be on your way out. That's the harsh truth of the NFL. In Vegas, the goal is simple: show that you deserve to be here. It doesn't matter if Coach Pete Carroll chose you himself. It doesn't matter how good your past looked. What matters now is whether you can help turn this team around, right now, on every play. Players are fighting for their spot, young guys trying to prove they belong, and older players showing they've still got it. It's no longer about big names, it's about results. Before we go deeper into the pressure and drama of this season, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and tap the bell so you never miss a Raiders update. Now, back to it. Let's talk about the man everyone's watching, Geno Smith. No one on this team has more pressure on their shoulders. He's the quarterback, and that means the spotlight is always on him. He's the leader, the one making the big decisions. He'll either carry the team or let it fall. The Raiders didn't trade for him just to see what happens. They brought Geno in to win. In 2022, he shocked a lot of people with a great season. And even in 2023, he held his ground. But now, in 2024, there are no more excuses. It's all about performance. Coach Pete Carroll believes in him, maybe enough to risk his own job. But in the NFL, belief only gets you so far. Geno has to prove it on the field, because what he does this season will decide how the world sees him from now on. All eyes are on Ashton Jeanty, and for good reason. When you're drafted 6th overall, expectations don't walk in. They come crashing through the door. But Jeanty isn't just a high pick. He's a statement, a weapon. And the way he dominated at Boise State, that wasn't just hype. That was a warning to every defense in the NFL. Last season, Jeanty came this close to breaking Barry Sanders' legendary college rushing record, racking up 261 yards in a single game and punching in 29 touchdowns on the ground. But the numbers only tell half the story. Jeanty doesn't just run, he destroys angles. He forces missed tackles like a veteran, not a rookie. He's slippery in space, explosive in tight gaps, and most importantly, he rarely takes a clean hit. That's not luck. That's next-level instinct and balance. Critics will say, but he did it in the Mountain West. Okay, but let's not forget he shredded Penn State's defense, too. He didn't just feast on weak teams, he showed up when it mattered. Now, he's out to prove that Boise wasn't a fluke. It was a preview. This year, the Raiders don't just need a spark. They need a back who can carry the load. And Jeanty? He's got the tools to be the next generational talent. Now, shift focus to the trenches, because Colton Miller, the Raiders' anchor at left tackle, is entering a critical chapter. This is a contract year for Miller, and while he's been a consistent force, he's never quite cracked the Pro Bowl or All-Pro list. That's not a knock. It's a challenge to raise his ceiling and show the league that he's not just solid, he's elite. 2024 didn't start smoothly for Miller. Coming off shoulder surgery, he missed key off-season work, and it showed early on. But as the season picked up, so did he. The protection improved, the run game opened up. The left side started looking like a wall again. For Miller, this season isn't about redemption. It's about recognition. If he stays healthy and plays at the level we've seen glimpses of, he could lock down his place as one of the NFL's premier left tackles and secure a massive payday in the process. Let's be honest, Colton Miller's 2024 season didn't begin with a bang. It started with a breakdown. Coming off shoulder surgery, Miller showed up not quite ready, physically or rhythm-wise, and opposing pass rushers ate him alive. In just the first 4 games, he gave up 6 sacks, a nightmare stat line for a left tackle. But here's where it gets interesting. Miller didn't fold. He adjusted. He fought back. And by week 5, something clicked. From that point on, just 1 sack allowed over the next 13 games. That's elite. That's what you want from your quarterback's blindside protector. Now, the new regime in Las Vegas is watching closely. They've held off on a new contract, probably because they want proof that Miller is back to full strength and that the shoulder issues are completely behind him. That makes this season more than just important. It's career-defining. But while the spotlight's been on Miller, don't overlook the man in the middle, center Jackson Powers Johnson. A Remington Award winner, a bulldozer in the run game, a strategist in pass protection, he's built to be the heart of the offensive line. So, when the Raiders drafted him in the second round, fans were thrilled. But then, the coaching staff made a head-scratching call. They played him at guard. Meanwhile, the team was struggling at center. Even when starter Andre James went down, Powers Johnson stayed at guard. It wasn't until later, finally, they slid him into his natural position. And when they did, he transformed. At guard, he was average. But at center, he looked like a mauler, a natural-born leader of the trenches. He diagnosed blitzes, bulldozed lanes, and instantly elevated the line's chemistry. For the Raiders to establish dominance up front, Powers Johnson needs to stay right where he belongs, in the middle, calling the shots, and moving mountains. When Andre James returned to the lineup last season, the Raiders made a move that had fans scratching their heads. They shifted Jackson Powers Johnson back to guard. But credit to the new regime, they saw the mistake, cut ties with James, and put Powers right back where he belongs, at center. Now, the pressure is on Powers Johnson to prove the staff made the right call. Because being handed the keys to the middle of the offensive line in just your second year, that's not normal, that's trust. And he has to show he's worth it, every single snap. On the other side of the ball, another Raider is feeling the heat, edge rusher Tyree Wilson. The Raiders used the 7th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft to get him, even with an injury already on his record. The plan was to let him heal and develop, but things went sideways fast. Chandler Jones's unexpected departure forced Wilson into action before he was ready. The result? A rough rookie campaign that raised eyebrows. Year 2 was an improvement, but not nearly what you'd expect from a top 10 pick. The whispers started, bust? But here's the reality. Year 3 is the one that counts. If Wilson delivers in 2025, the Raiders will pick up his 5th-year option and lock him in for the future. If he flops, that decision gets a lot harder, and so does his future in the league. This isn't just a turning point for Wilson. It's a career crossroads. And he's not alone. Fellow edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz, a 3rd-round pick from 2021, is entering a do-or-die contract year. He's flashed talent before, but flashes don't earn extensions. Production does. For both Wilson and Kuntz, it's simple. Show up, wreak havoc, and prove you belong in the silver and black. Otherwise, the door might not be open for long. Malcolm Kuntz was right there, on the edge of a breakout and a massive payday. In the second half of 2023, he finally got the reps he'd been waiting for, and made them count. 8 sacks in limited action. He looked like a player ready to cash in. All he needed was one full season at that same level, and his future would have been locked down. But then came the gut punch. Just before the 2024 season opener, Kuntz tore his ACL. Just like that, his big opportunity disappeared. No snaps, no tape, just rehab and waiting. Now, in 2025, he's back, but playing on a 1-year, $12 million prove-it deal. The stakes? Massive. If Kuntz shows he's healthy and disruptive again, he could double that salary in his next contract. But if he falters, or worse, gets hurt again, his future earnings and his role in Las Vegas both take a serious hit. This year isn't just about numbers for Kuntz. It's about durability, dominance, delivering when everything's on the line. And he's not the only one with something to prove. Across the Raiders roster, pressure is coming from every direction. Some guys are trying to impress a new head coach and front office. Others are trying to justify the belief that brought them here in the first place. Some are chasing second contracts. Others are fighting off the label of bust. And a few are coming back from major injuries, trying to show the league they haven't lost a step. Then there's that rookie, the one drafted to be generational. Every move he makes this season will be judged through that lens. What makes this year special isn't just the talent, it's the hunger. You can feel it, you can see it, and soon we'll all know who stepped up and who got left behind.